I'm Mike here from the Buccini-Pollin Group, and it's my great privilege and great pleasure to welcome you to this, the ribbon cutting for Market Street Village. We gathered some 51 weeks ago inside the bank lobby, and those of you who were there, and many of you were, are probably grateful that it's 20 degrees warmer outside than it was inside that day. And that day, I guess in talking about what may lie ahead, we talked about, there we go, amen. We talked about changing a narrative for Wilmington. And so many negative things have been said about our great city that those people didn't observe all the things that were happening. So today we gather amongst friends and champions of this city to celebrate transformation and collaboration. And there's no more greater example of that collaboration, public and private, than Market Street Village. The public financing, the private grit to create this project, to provide an opportunity for housing for people to share in the Market Street and downtown Renaissance. So we welcome you to celebrate this great accomplishment for Wilmington, this great accomplishment for Market Street, and this great accomplishment for Delaware. A person keenly aware of the progress made in Wilmington and responsible for much of the financing and the vision for this project is our governor. Through the creation of the Downtown Development District and through the tireless and extraordinary support of the Delaware State Housing Authority, Market Street Village today is a reality. For this and for all he does, please welcome our governor, Jack Markell.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Mike, thank you. Great to be with you and Rob and Chris and the whole Buccini-Pollin team. You guys are doing amazing work here in Wilmington, and we are extraordinarily grateful. The government can help, but what this kind of progress really requires are people with the vision and the stick-to-itiveness and the ability to get it done. And so we are so fortunate to have all of you as partners. I want to thank all the folks from the Delaware State Housing Authority. Anas Benatti, who is the director, is here, and I want to thank Anas and his great team for doing some wonderful work. I want to thank our partners, our funding partners from Citibank and Sinair, as well as the State Historic Preservation Office, which provided historic tax credits. You know, to talk about the advantages of having people move back into our cities is one thing, but to see it happen is something else entirely different. And I do remember that day 51 weeks ago. It was freezing. It was unbelievable. And so to have this opportunity to be here today, as we had an opportunity to be here a couple months ago, to see the apartments across the street, to meet some of the people, most importantly, to meet some of the people moving in, and to see them and how excited they are to have access to these great apartments, affordable, nice, and right here in downtown is phenomenal. And I understand just in the last year, I think 21 new businesses have started up, which is really, really exciting. And for us, what this is all about is a relatively small amount. Am I talking too loud? All right. A relatively small amount of public money is leveraging like hundreds of millions of dollars of private money. And that's what it's all about. And there are a number of deals, including these, where the Buccini-Pollin folks can look at it every which way from Sunday, but without a little help from whether it's DSHA or the Downtown Development Districts, probably couldn't put it over the top. And that was really the theory behind the Downtown Development Districts. Just let's do a little help. And already, not just in Wilmington, but in Dover and in Seaford as well, something like $7 million has leveraged over $100 million of private investment, which is pretty awesome. And it's just going to get better and better and better, which is what we're so excited about. So when we think about these new people moving in, when we think about the new businesses that are opening up, we also think about the fact that local musicians played concerts here last year. 200,000 tickets were sold to live performances right between the Grand and the Queen and the DuPont Theater. And that's really what this is all about. And so we are thrilled to see this progress. We're so grateful to all of our partners. We're excited to see more and more of this happening, and we are sure that we will, because when all of us work together between the state, the city, our private, our developers, as well as our funding partners, it's amazing what can happen. And I think with all of this great progress in Wilmington, we know there's momentum and there's going to be more to come. I do want to say, I want to also thank the members of the congressional delegation who have been so supportive. I see Albert Shields here from Congressman Carney's office. I see Bonnie Wu from Senator Carper's office, and I'm sure that Senator Coons' office is represented here in person, if not in spirit. They've been just great champions, as have the members of the General Assembly delegation from the city. They have been terrific working with the City Council and the Mayor's office. So to all of you who are making this happen, this is why we come to work every day. These are the kinds of improvements that are going to be transformative for our city. Let's keep the great progress going. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Governor. And to Anas and your group, Secretary Bullock, State Historic Preservation, for all the phenomenal support, not only on this project, but throughout our portfolio and throughout the city of Wilmington. We're also grateful to the city of Wilmington and its government and the many branches and departments that help us on a daily basis, and particularly on these projects. From the Office of Economic Development, Public Works, License and Inspection, the city departments, police, fire, the extraordinary support that we receive in trying to advance the development throughout our city. Representing the mayor today is Alfred Lance from the Office of Economic Development. Alfred, please come and join us.
Good afternoon. On behalf of Mayor Williams and Economic Development Director Jeff Flynn, I'd like to express my excitement about this project and what it means for Wilmington. I'd also like to extend thanks and appreciation to the Buccini-Pollin Group for continuing to invest in the city of Wilmington and doing the difficult work of converting vacant spaces into attractive modern residences that are affordable for residents of all income levels, which is important to the economic future of our city. Market Street Village is a welcome advancement of the city's vision for a dynamic mixed-use neighborhood in Wilmington's downtown. This project furthers the work of many of our partners to grow Wilmington. From the recent arrival of Uber, Zipcar, and pilot initiatives for food trucks and bike lanes, to the burgeoning tech corridor and the nascent creative district, as well as the governor's DDD initiative and the successes of the city's previous Upstairs Fund, the city and its public and private sector partners are pushing forward an urbanist agenda which will grow the city, attract new residents, and encourage more commercial and retail investment. Thank you all for celebrating this day with us today. We're very excited to be here.
Well done, Alfred. Archmere graduate, by the way. Just want to mention that. Can't go unnoticed. You know, you may tell that I have, I guess, a little bit long in the tooth. I've grown up in the city, lived here all my life, and I'm proud to say that. And one of the exciting things when you came downtown and coming up Market Street was you went into the Woolworths building. And the highlight in the Woolworths building was to go downstairs because that's where the toys were, in the basement. And I think in 54 years, I never knew there was a second and third floor. So when we talk about 11 months to make this project a reality, it may be closer to 90 years before we discovered there was a second and third floor. And I remember probably in 2007, 2008, Rob and Chris one night late maybe 10 o'clock. We're going up and down the street, and Chris, in a drunken stupor, bought 28 properties along Market Street and saying, oh, we're going to have apartments in the second and third floor above the Walgreens. And I said, oh my God, what are you talking about? So my point being that because of their collective vision and their drive and their passion for the city, the cynics will say that they're just simply protecting the investments they've already made. And I assure you, it's far more than that. It is a passion for the city in which they grew up and a vision to make Wilmington the great city that it can be and it should be and that it must be. And I'm proud to work for a company that shares that vision. To speak on behalf of the Buccini-Pollin Group, please welcome my dear friend, Rob Buccini.
The great concern, obviously, as we introduce new apartments to the city of Wilmington, what does that do to our existing inventory? It's very similar to when we introduced the Queen to the Grand Opera House, and yet attendance only rose at both places. And so the point of this is that we delivered only 6 weeks ago the 24 units above the Walgreens building. Already 21 of them are occupied by residents, with one pending lease application. So, a really amazing statistic. Obviously, that was possible because of the nearly 24-hour work that our construction team did and our design team did. So the guys who built these buildings, they really pushed it. And one of the things that I love about working with our construction team, with our financing team, which is Rob Snowberger on these projects, was that we have doers, and they get up every day and they say, what do I need to get done? And they just do it. And so I'm really appreciative for the hard work that you guys did. So thank you all very much. In speaking to our leasing team, led by their Ingram & Company, who's done a phenomenal job, and we're obviously a hard company to work with on certain occasions, especially when it comes to customer service and cleanliness. I think our standards are exceptional. The Ingram team has done a great job. We met last week, and based on the applications that we have for this building, which we just, the building behind us, 838 Market Street, which we just received our CO, and as we just finished our project, which you can take the bus down to 3rd Street, we believe that all of the apartment units will be rented by sometime the end of March or early April. So that is a stunning statistic. So just today, as of today, we're processing 15 more applications for leases. And so I think all those people who have said, well, will the residential marketplace have staying power and continue to grow in the city of Wilmington? I think this project effectively puts a nail in that coffin of people questioning our momentum here. So thank you all very much.
I do have just a couple of brief housekeeping notes in advance of the ribbon cutting itself. I do want to mention that we encourage all of you here today, if you can, that there is, we have the shuttle bus. Before it heads to Atlantic City, we're going to actually hit all of the venues along our route, so please make yourselves available to the shuttle so we can get you to the site at 3rd on 6 East 3rd Street for your tours. We also want to acknowledge our local businesses that are giving away food samples in each of our buildings. We want to thank Walgreens, Three Doors, Chelsea Tavern, Ernest and Scott Tap Room, Starbucks on the Riverfront, and Market Street Bread and Bagel for their support. I also want to mention specifically in 838 that food is provided by Three Doors Brewing in the lobby just past the elevator. So you enter here at the leasing office, there will be food at the elevator, and if you go just past that elevator, there's a collection area for Reed's Refuge. In the invitation, we invited folks to bring food, etc., for Reed's Refuge, which helps folks here in the city. Again, the limo is available. We encourage you to take tours of the spaces. We're again grateful for all of you being here today to share in this significant day for Wilmington. And so many of you throughout this crowd had such a significant role to play in this event. one maybe a direct role or an indirect role. You're all champions for our city and for its downtown, and we're grateful for your support. So if I can ask the governor, Alfred, Rob, but Chris is still here, Rob Snowberger, if you come forward, we'll get you on the back side of this ribbon. Get you on the back side for the photo op. I'm going to count you down. I don't know if we have any other elected officials that are here. I didn't see any. If any council members. And we'll count down from 3, Gov. Here he is. Councilman Wright is here. Councilman Justin Wright. Three, 2, 1. Thank you all very much. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for coming.